next, Geralt versus Rail, best of 3 PvP coming up, guys. Again, don't forget to check out the Matcherino page today. Exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat. Trying to raise some more money over there to try and support the tournament. Do check that out if you guys get the opportunity. I really do appreciate any support coming in, as it does help us. But on more of these events, it helps us pay out more of the players and give out just more money to play. I mean, again, we just give out more money to players, right? It creates a nice, healthy system. It's just a nice little way to support the tournament. Anyways, so the top left-hand side, we've got ourselves the red Protoss from Exceed Esports. This is Geralt. Up against the blue Protoss on the bottom right-hand side, Rail. Game 1 of this best of 3 currently getting underway. Alright, so 2 gates apiece, pretty standard to get going in the PvP, as we do get this started at the moment. So, gates on each side, Cybercore's dropping down. As we do see this probe of Geralt going to be crossing by. Both players heading across to obviously pick up some early game information, just see if there's anything they should be aware of here in these early games. So pro checking out at the back to see what's going on. This probe of Geralt is nibbling that mineral line. Just being a little bit of an annoyance at the moment. 2 more depths on the way up here from Geralt as well, so getting that going. There's a sentry and a depth going to be warping in too. We're actually going to throw down the pylon here to block Geralt into his main. Actually makes it so he can't come down to the low ground to expand, which is actually quite frustrating. As we do see the 2 adepts about to finish up. I don't think there's anything else kind of malicious planned here, although probably does want to still cancel this, right? Because otherwise, if he doesn't cancel, well, then his adepts can't really get in and do much. Right now, they just chase down a probe, sure, but, well, this one probe pulls an adept. Yes, it's kind of funny, but still interesting. Still interesting, not what you would usually kind of expect, I suppose. Pylon gets built up in this little gap as well, as we do see the 2 adepts from Geralt still coming over. Rail going to get this picked up as well. And the Nexus just coming down on the natural. Phoenix hallucination moving across the map. That's the point of this early sentry, of course. It is Stargate on Stargate, so we're going to be seeing Phoenix on Phoenix. Neither player actually going in towards the Oracle, obviously. I mean, was the scouting there? It was here for Geralt, and it wasn't here from Rail. But perhaps because he didn't scout or get any information on the tech choice, deciding that Phoenix would be the safer choice anyways, as Rail will now see the Phoenix and the Stargate. So he'll know to continue with that Phoenix on Phoenix style, although Geralt actually throwing down a robo facility already. It's kind of early to kind of swap out of this. So that's a little bit intriguing. And, I mean, what do you do if you swap out of the robo Stargate already? You're just naturally going to start ending up being a little bit behind here. Alright, well, 2 adepts going to shade out. Heading out into the center of the map, as this probe will probably just be able to drop a pylon if needed to block anything off. Nexus finishing up on both sides, and we actually see what's being recalled down here. Probes and a sentry, because he's walled himself in. Okay, I mean, that's a pretty unique way of doing things, so his own wall in there. As Rail is moving out onto the map, though. So what Rail's going to try and do, because he's kind of heavy on the gateway units, he's going to get across them, but instead of investing money into a second Stargate, he's invested money into units. And so he's going to hit that fine timing where you can kind of get away with a bit of a push, and instead of trying to, again, invest in Phoenix for the future, he's investing for units right now with his own Phoenix that should be even in numbers in the sky, so that actually the Phoenix fight is kind of even, and then the ground units kind of sway the fray of battle, while the second Stargate has just not really done anything yet. So here we go from Rail. This is an attack which kind of determines the game, because if he's unsuccessful, he's already down by about 11 workers. So he's down 11 workers, and at the same time, those Phoenix are obviously going to be, if he loses this fight, he'll lose his Phoenix. And then he's going to have Phoenix to harass, you know, on his opponent's side, harassing him too. He actually gets the better shots off to start the Phoenix war. In the end, it turns out to be a Phoenix for Phoenix. There's the first lift, although lift in use means that Phoenix isn't able to fire. So again, Rail gets a little bit of a heads up, and a little bit of an advantage in that fight as he'll start to get some probe kills here. Probe's being pulled in actually just to fight this. The Phoenix count is still in favor of Rail. Geralt going to be losing out in the Phoenix sky war. End up in the sky, and now the two Stalkers get lifted as well. So these Stalkers can just kite backwards, and Geralt doesn't really have an answer to the Stalkers. They're going to kite forward, push forwards now. The Phoenix lift once again gets another Stalker unable to kite away. This is already 12 workers killed, so looking good, especially because Geralt just does not seem to have a way to get enough units up to deal with this amount of Stalkers. Suddenly there's so many Stalkers, and, well, trust me, the two Phoenix here are not going to shut down this many Stalkers. Suddenly the pylon goes down, and Rail is up into the main base. A very well executed attack. Knew what he wanted to do from the start, and, well, made it happen. Being very cautious here as he's giving his opponent a lot of respect, and Geralt will do the job for him. He says, dude, I'm dead. Games here, guys, because of the fact that we have to come out, completely restart StarCraft on the new patch, and it's just a nuisance, put it that way, as we have to the bottom left-hand side. Our red Protoss player, this is Geralt. Top right, our blue Protoss player is Rail. Alright, game 2 of this PvP is we kick things off. 4 hours into the stream, guys. Again, probably going to go for about a couple more hours. Some busy times. I start up at 1 p.m. CET tomorrow. And I'm going to be casting all the way through there. It's going to be a busy day. I'm casting the 2018 has left the game playoffs. Then I'm going to be casting an open tournament I'm running in the evening on Base Trade TV. So, going to be all over the place tomorrow. All over the place, I'm telling you. Should be some good fun. Alright, so Chrono Boost coming down on the Nexus as we see a couple of gates coming down on either side of the map. Obviously, this is just a very standard PvP opening that we see all of the time. No surprises for the moment. Game music doesn't work. I don't have continuous music checked for some reason. This weird offline thing that we load into all the time. It's annoying. Cybercore finishing up shortly as we get ourselves into this. Yeah, and Geralt is going to be the mischief maker here, blocking Rail in with that pylon. A couple of Stalkers have to decide how they're going to go about this. Doesn't look as though Rail seems to be too bothered by it or anything. Geralt does allow it to finish. And the Robo facility just drops down. Look at that, in front of Geralt's probe as well. He's just like, you know what? Here's my Robo. Immediately, Geralt throws down a Stargate of his own. Stargate's generally very good against the Robo facility because if it's immortals, you can lift them with Phoenix. I mean, it's just like, there's no blink coming up, right? There's no natural movement towards anti-Stargate play. Obviously, Stargate, Robo doesn't just die to Stargate, but it can be a little bit weaker against certain builds of it and certain variations. The Stargate, I think, is good here, and that's why Geralt throws it down in response. And obviously, both players going for tech before the expansion. This pylon will go down. I mean, that is still 100 minerals early in the game. That, yeah, it's 100 minerals early in the game that doesn't come back. These two Adepts will now try and shade up unsuccessfully as the pylon will be placed to block. Ooh, commits the Adepts. That's interesting because he gets a probe, sure, but he will lose the Adepts because of the Stalkers. At least he loses one. The Stalkers took a little while to start attacking Adept number 2. He's going to do it down as well. Even cancels the shade. Geralt is just like, yep, not even going to give you any hope, buddy. Not even going to give you any hope. Stalkers coming down at the bottom left as we do see a couple of shield batteries coming up from Geralt. So his plan right now just to be able to heal up any units that are kind of running around. Heal up anything that has to try and defend, because obviously he lost a couple of Adepts and his opponent's been building Stalkers, so has quite a lot to work with at the moment. Stalkers continues set up on the high ground of the main. Once again, they're keep on pressing forwards here. Wargate is taking some damage. A couple of Stalkers able to push that Prism away for a moment. This gateway is going to go down. That's actually kind of a big hit to the production here of Geralt. So suddenly he doesn't have that much to work with. Shield batteries are good and all, but there just isn't that many units. I mean, he didn't have units to begin with, right? And now it's only going to get a little bit worse for him here. The Stalker's hanging out from rail down on the low ground. There go the two Oracles heading across the map. There's two Oracles heading to the far right side. Of course, again, they want to kind of know what they can get done here as well. Observer on the way up from rail in the main base. Stalkers, the Sentry, and the Prism going to decide to back away. So, again, just a weird kind of setup where Rail has just found himself in a really nice advantage. His Nexus about to complete. Almost kind of putting Geralt on kind of like a reversal in here. As we're going to be seeing, Geralt has that Immortal out, so he's able to be safe for the moment, but this Oracle flies back into range. No, it actually got fixed for just a second there. He's having some trouble keeping it in the corner, though, and it will go down. Already dropped the Revelation to use up some of the energy on it, at least. Geralt throws down his own Nexus as he tries to play a little bit of catch-up at the moment. He is ahead by 3 workers, though. Two Stalkers and an Immortal dropping down and pushing out into the center of the map. Stasis Ward drops down and is able to lock 6 probes into position over here. More depth just getting warped in into rail. Has a lot of supply to press forward with here, as we're going to be seeing. Starting to fire. Zald goes down. Immortal taking some damage right away as well. Sentry gets force fielded in. So that's just going to be too many units from rail. Not a very exciting PvP. Geralt kind of falling behind a little bit early in both games. This is going to be his first series loss of the day. We'll put Rail to a 2-0 series score, with Reynold still left to play and Braddock, of course. First game being called again, not